Jesus never said, "I am God." You may have overheard this statement at dinner from a Muslim friend, religious skeptic, or family member. Are they correct? Well, sort of yes, sort of no. Let us spend a few moments decoding what Jesus actually said about himself throughout the Bible. In John chapter 5, Jesus says, "My Father is always at work to this very day, and I too am working." After stating this, the Jewish leaders tried to kill him, because in calling God his own father, Jesus was making himself equal with God. He was claiming to be the unique Son of God. In the New Testament, Jesus uses the term, "my Father," as a direct and unmistakable declaration of his sonship. In verse 23, he claims that the Son and the Father receive the same type of honor, stating, "so that all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father." 3 verses later, he claims to possess life, as the Father does, just as the Father has life in himself. So also he gave to his Son the possession of life in himself. Also in the Gospel of Matthew in chapter 11, Jesus claims a direct relationship with God, the Father, saying, "No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son," asserting the shared knowledge he has with the Father. "You are Christ, the Son of the living God," Peter says in chapter 16. Jesus not only agrees with the designations, but also blesses Peter for making the proclamation that my Father in heaven had revealed to him. Jesus claims eternal existence in John chapter 8 verse 58, when he says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was born I am." Here Jesus has echoed the language of deity, the same words by which God revealed himself to Moses from the burning bush in Exodus 3 verse 14. To the Jews, this was clearly blasphemy, for they knew that in doing so Jesus was again claiming to be God. Later in John 10 verses 30 to 33, Jesus explicitly told the Jews, "I and the Father are one." Again, the Jews picked up stones to stone him. But Jesus said to them, "I've shown you many great miracles from the Father. For which of these do you stone me?" "We are not stoning you for any of these," replied the Jews, "but for blasphemy, because you, a mere man, claim to be God." In the Sanhedrin trial of Jesus, recorded in Mark 14, Caiaphas the high priest asked him, "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed One?" "I am," said Jesus, "and you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." The significance of that statement may be lost on those who are not familiar with the text of the Old Testament, but Caiaphas and the council clearly knew that in saying he was the Son of Man, who would come on the clouds of heaven, Jesus was delivering a clear reference to the Son of Man in Daniel's prophecy in Daniel 7. He was not only claiming to be the pre-existent sovereign of the universe, but also foretold that he would prove his claim by judging the very court that was now condemning him. Further, in combining Daniel's prophecy with David's proclamation in Psalm 110, Jesus was claiming that he would sit upon the throne of Israel's God and share God's very glory. This was an unmistakable claim to the deity. This was the worst kind of blasphemy, so naturally, everyone agreed that he was deserving of death, as quoted in Mark 14, 64 and 65. Additionally, Jesus claimed divine status through his teachings and miracles all throughout the Gospels. The Old Testament called God the Good Shepherd, which he proudly proclaimed. He put himself up as everyone's final arbiter. Sins were forgiven by him, but only God can truly forgive. He treated himself as on par with God, and even advocated praying to him. No other great leader, teacher, or prophet in Israel's history ever made such an appeal for faith in their own name as he did. The rest of the New Testament makes it clear that Jesus is the one to whom the title God properly belongs. The authors talk about Jesus in a way that only God could, being called eternal, despite the fact that there is only one eternal God who created the universe. Despite the Old Testament's ban on worshiping anything or anyone besides God, it is clear that the New Testament authors also considered Jesus to be a God. In so doing, while Jesus never explicitly said, "I am God," he is consistently portrayed as one who speaks and acts like a God in all the Gospels. Hope you found this video informative. Do share it with others and enlighten them. We'll be back with more great content, so make sure to subscribe to our channel. Take care.